Hey everyone, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas and welcome to the week 1 video for my 100 Days of Art Challenge. I recently decided that I wanted to jump in and do a 100-day art challenge because I was finding myself getting too busy in the work side of things and not actually creating as much as I needed to create, and I felt like by doing a challenge it would force me to create some consistency, plus allow me to make some fun weekly videos for YouTube and daily shorts and daily reels and all that jazz. So this is the first kind of like review video for the first week of the 100-day challenge. So I could have started on April 1st, but that probably would have been like too organized. I mean, I love that. It would have been really satisfying had it also fallen on a Monday. I probably would have done it, but April 1st was a Saturday and I just wanted to get going. So I actually started this challenge on March 27th, this past Monday. And I have decided that for me, the 100-day challenge is going to look like 5 days a week. I'm going to give myself the weekends to kind of recoup, organize all the footage from the week, make a YouTube video, and then restart again on Monday. So this 100 days challenge is actually going to take a little bit longer than 100 days, but I think it's going to be worth it and hopefully prevent some burnout. So I'm really excited, and I hope you guys will follow me along on this 100-day journey. Like I said, 100+ day journey. But each weekend, I want to share a YouTube video with like clips from the week of creating the art, and sometimes it'll be like very in not intense. It'll be very like full-fledged art video. Sometimes it'll just be clips. And I'm hoping to keep that going throughout the whole thing, and I hope it'll be a lot of fun. Week 1 was really great. I am currently doing this voiceover on April 1st, which is a Saturday, which means today is kind of a day that I don't have to create, but I'm still going to create. I'm actually going to start sketching out my ideas for this next week, so I'm a bit more organized. So now that you guys kind of know what my 100 days is going to look like, let's take a look at week 1. It's day 1. I've often thought that maybe I should just film like a little voice note each day of kind of like my thoughts and my process of the finished piece, and that way it was kind of like a podcast video, but I didn't do that for week 1, so we're just gonna go in and like talk about it. So a few weeks ago I did a whole bunch of wave studies, and they were a lot of fun. Waves have always been something that I've wanted to be able to illustrate, to paint, because I absolutely love them, but I've never felt like I was that good at them. I've kind of just focused on the cloud part of my like ocean pieces and left the waves up to your imagination and kind of gave the illusion, but I haven't put like a ton of effort into them. So this week unintentionally became that. After my wave studies a few weeks ago, I decided that this week was the week that I was going to turn those wave studies into full pieces. So a wave study in my mind is basically using a copyright-free image and creating something based on it rather loosely. So sometimes I'll use the picture as like a jumping point and then completely pivot and it'll turn into something unrecognizable. Sometimes it'll stay pretty on course. Anyway, I did a whole bunch of these. I did like 4 or 5 of them a few weeks ago, and I really liked how they came out, but I did them in really, really small thumbnail pieces, and that's what you see me referencing on the side. So I decided that this week, as we ease into the 100-day challenge, I was going to turn them into full-fledged pieces because why not? I want to experiment more, and what better way than to use this as practice for something. Also, a lot of the times when I'm designing something with like an end goal in mind. So maybe I'm wanting to list new lighthouses in my shop, so I'm illustrating lighthouses. Maybe I'm designing a greeting card, so I'm designing something for that. This time I was doing the illustration out of pure just enjoyment and practice. I mean, not that those others aren't, because they are. I absolutely love doing lighthouses. They're always that way, but like I didn't have anything like product wise in mind for these. Now, after that I'm done with them, I definitely think these could be some fun wall art prints, maybe even greeting cards. But it was just like a coming at it from a different perspective creatively, and I really liked that. And looking back now on this past 5 days, it was a lot of fun. But day 1, it was sort of a struggle at the beginning because like I said, I had already done a very, very small version of this illustration, and I really, really liked the small version. So as I did this new version, like full size version, it wasn't like hitting. It just wasn't. I wasn't loving it, and at this point, I was like, well, this will stupid idea that I had for this 100-day challenge is just not my best idea. Maybe this was all a bad idea. But as one of my favorite characters says in Outer Banks, stupid things have good outcomes all the time. So, we're going with it. We're not going in with a major plan. Anyway, I continued this piece and I finished it completely, and I still just did not like it as much as the original one, which did not feel great because like I was really counting on this piece to be something that I really liked. And in most instances, had I not been doing a 100-day challenge, I probably would have just like put it away and got mad at it and left it and like didn't attempt to redo it. But since I was doing this 100-day challenge and I did really like the original sketch plan thingy that I did for it, I decided to fully redo it. I did not film me fully redoing it, but there are two versions of this piece. One's a lot softer, probably gives off like a foggy morning vibe. And then the other one is very vibrant. And the very vibrant one was the second one that like I said, I did not film the process of, but it ended up being my favorite and I really liked it. So I have shared like both on my short. So you probably saw that there, but I'm going to go ahead and show you both versions in this video as well. Like I said, the first one was a bust in my mind, even though it is like a good piece, which is what you're seeing now. Like it's good. I don't hate it. I just don't love it. But the second piece I do really, really love, and it feels more me, which is obviously like a goal. You want your art to like just feel right and feel like something you would create and something I would gravitate towards and I myself would use as like decor. So that's how day one went. It actually ended up being two pieces of art in one day because I was stubborn and really, really wanted it to come out the way that I wanted it to come out, not the way that it did come out. And I realize that's confusing, but if you have ever done anything creative, you've probably had the same sort of thing where you have this idea in mind and then you do it, it doesn't turn out right, and you're just determined to get it right. That's basically what this illustration was. So now we're on to day two. Day two, I again was taking one of those wave studies I did in the past and turning it into a full-fledged piece. This one is also different than something that I normally do because I oftentimes do things in a portrait like perspective. I don't know why that is actually. But this time I did a landscape and an ocean landscape, and this one was based off a picture off of Unsplash, but it very, very, very much looks like waves that we would see here on the Florida's East Coast. So it was a really fun piece to do, and I honestly feel like I could probably go through my own camera roll and see pictures like this from the beach. Now I did the clouds, and for like once I didn't love the clouds. I actually felt like the clouds looked okay, but I felt like it was too much for the overall piece and the composition. It just felt like there was too much going on. Like in this case, I think the waves needed to be the star of the show, so I actually got rid of the clouds for like the final piece, which again, I'm going to go through all the like final pieces at the end and show it to y'all. Day three. Okay, this was another one that was based off of an image off of Unsplash. Now, this image off of Unsplash was really pretty, but it had this very, very like orangey color underneath the sea foam at the front where the water is hitting the shore. And that just, I didn't love it. It's not a color I traditionally use, and it didn't really remind me of home. And I tried to keep all these pieces like thinking of my home coast, but actually I didn't for one day. But anyway, for today, that's what I was thinking in my head because the waves in this piece very, very much look like you could see these on the Florida's East Coast. Just the color of the sand and everything in the inspiration picture wasn't quite right. So I pivoted and went my own direction with it. Now, day four is here, and this one was very, very different. And as I was just mentioning in the last one, I tried to make everything like Florida's East Coast. Well, not on this one. This one was probably inspired by it was inspired by a picture that I found on Unsplash, and it didn't say its actual location, but I'm guessing it's a West Coast piece just because of the different coastline that you have in the background. And this was very much an experiment for me to do because I've never done anything like this with a rocky like cliff coastline. So very different, very fun, and this whole wave perspective was very interesting and unique. And again, I did like this one, and it took me a while to like it, but I did get there. Day five was yesterday, and I did not film much of it, but this one was inspired by an actual picture that I took last year at one of my favorite places, and we don't often see a ton of birds on the beach. Well, I mean, you'll see like your seagulls and your terns and such, but you don't often see like ibis or egrets or anything like that. But we did. And we actually saw another bird, wood stork. Anyway, so I took a whole bunch of pictures of them on the beach because, again, that was a rare occurrence. I don't often see them at the beach, but it was so fun. So I actually based this illustration off of that picture. And I do like how this one came out. I was playing with some different textured brushes and playing with bold colors to create the shading because these birds are only going to be seen from very, very far away in the piece, as you'll see when I back it up and show you the finished piece. But overall, it was really fun, very different. And actually, this one came together faster than the rest of them, probably because it felt like just a very comfortable piece, probably because it was also like based off a picture of my own camera roll that I took myself, and it has that like personal feeling to it because like I have everything attached to it, like I know what day I took the picture, I know what I was doing, and it's just fun things like that. And I think that's a really cool thing about a lot of coastal art for me anyway, personally. So I think it's about time that we look at all the finished pieces that I talked about. Day one. Here's the one that I did in the video, I didn't like, and then the redid version that I ended up really, really enjoying. I really do like how this one came out. It is different. The perspective was fun, and you kind of just got these like rolling waves coming in. It was fun. Day two, this one was a really fun one. I enjoyed doing the water on this one, and the way that the sea foam was on the shore was very different. It was definitely taking some experimenting. It was fun. And I obviously did the version with clouds, and then I also just removed the clouds because I felt like in this case the water needed to be the star of the show. And adding the clouds to the sky was just making it so there was like too much going on, and that's why I omitted the clouds, which is very, very rare for me. Day three, not a ton to say about this one. I really like how it came out. It felt a little different. And yeah, I really like it. What do you guys think of this one? And day four, this one was very different. We're talking like a completely different coastline for me, which again, that was very much out of my element. But I do really like how it turned out. So I am okay with that for sure. And it also makes me excited to do more West Coast things. I know I need to do some lighthouses over there, specifically one in Oregon that I found out was actually my very first lighthouse that my mom took me to when I was like under 6 months old. So definitely need to do that one. I believe that was the Hasita Lighthouse in Oregon. So that's definitely in the future, and this has kind of got me excited to play with that coastline. Day five, the final day for this challenge. Well, not for this challenge. I just mean for this week, for week one. We are far from 100. I really like this piece. It feels very, very good. I struggled with the water a bit and I didn't love it yesterday when I actually finished it, but looking at it today, I do really, really like it. And I also want to show you the inspiration picture here. So there's the inspiration picture and my illustration. Of course, I did change things. There's not as many birds. There aren't like a ton of footprints in the sand because I just didn't want that there. I just wanted these cute little birds hanging out by the water, and the fact that the color of the water was this color that day is just fabulous. This is one of my favorite spots, and I'm really excited to kind of have it done in a painting form. So I definitely will probably, this is probably my favorite one from the week, probably just because it has like a personal like memories attached to it, and it's just one of my favorite places. So overall, I'm really happy with all of the pieces that came out of this week. I know this is probably not going to be the standard for the rest of the challenge. I mean, it would be nice, but it's not likely. But, we're going with it. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this overview of week one. I hope to post regular videos on the weekends to be overviews of the past week for the challenge. I feel like it's just really fun, and also it'll be really cool to look back on and see like progress and growth through the different styles and subject matters that I am working on this challenge. So that is officially it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye!